take up the next question. So we have this from Hemant. So if a person takes maths as optional and other person takes political science as optional, then the mathematics person will get higher marks than the other person. So they're asking if there is a standard way of marking, like do they bring every topper to the same level when it comes to the optional, like the topper of maths, the topper of political science?
Well, as far as marking is concerned, I'm not actually, in fact, I think nobody does how UPSC does its marking actually. But I have heard that they do some sort of scaling in the examination, so that par with each other. Because otherwise, usually what happens that one subject goes actually very up above, and then there's some subject which, hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. So there, I have heard. I'm not sure what goes inside the UPSC as far as marking of papers is concerned, but there's concepts of scaling, wherein they try to bring at par with each other the different subjects. So that is there. And as far as comparing of toppers is concerned, it's not just the optional which makes you a topper. And you have to get marks in other subjects also. There is GS, there is essay, and everything. So only when you can actually score very good in all the papers of UPSC, only then you will be able to score actually very good and be a topper. And it is not entirely the optional paper which actually decides that whether you are going to be a topper or not.
Okay. We also have a question from Dhruv Sharma. How important is it to have a backup while preparing for UPSC, especially after COVID?
I'm sorry, I couldn't follow. Could you please repeat? How important
is it to have a backup? How important is it to have a backup?
Backup.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I actually still I'm not able to actually comprehend what kind of backup he's talking of. It's some material backup.
No, as in if UPSC doesn't happen, then having a thing to do other than that.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Usually when one prepares for this examination, I have told people that you have to prepare, it with all your zeal and enthusiasm. But usually, people, they are like very practical, and they think that there's this examination wherein each year around 15 lakh people apply for this examination, and then there's 1,900 people who get selected. So usually people think having a backup so that in case this doesn't happen, so that they don't have to lose something because of the UPSC. And usually there are backups for the people. But I would say that when you keep something as your backup, you actually become complacent. कि अगर ये नहीं है तो ये तो चलता ही रहेगा, तो उसकी वजह से I believe that this your enthusiasm level that drops down. While having backup, I am not against it. It is good, but for initial 2-3 years of your preparation, I don't think that you should actually be having some sort of backup. But otherwise, there are different stories, there are individual stories. There would be some person who would have the family requirement and he needs to keep earning money. So I can't tell him that you just leave your job and just prepare for this examination. So my point is that for the time you are preparing for this examination, dedicate yourself entirely to this preparation. And so focus on it. It should be your primary goal. Other things probably after this examination you can focus on. But as far as individual cases is concerned, so I cannot comment on that actually. So everybody has a different story. They must have to take care of their family, and then there are people even working for that matter in your organization only. In Ecoholics, there are people. So it's something that they have to balance everything, and it's something I have seen out of my own experience. I have my batchmates, my friends who were working and who are doing jobs which probably are more challenging They work for around 18 hours, 17 hours a day, and nevertheless they could qualify this examination. So I believe that focus and consistency for a long period of time, and that's something because of which they could sail through this examination, and that's what is required.
So it is a good news for all our working professionals out there. It has been outrightly said by sir that it is possible to qualify the examination along with a job. You just need to put in that much of effort, but it's possible and you can do it. So don't lose hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So because of the shortage of time, sir, we'll take a couple more questions and then we'll wrap up. So how to make notes while reading? It is a question from Deepak.
It's again a big topic in itself. It will require a lot amount of time, but nevertheless, few things I would like to say is that as far as note making is concerned, it's something that is very handy. Subsequently, when you have to kind of remember things, you cannot probably flip a book all the time. This is that way important. And as far as making notes is concerned, what I personally would do, that I would consult 4 or 5 sources simultaneously, so that my notes, when I prepare them, they are not from a single source, because probably a single source doesn't give you multiple dimensions. They usually are inclined towards one direction or one opinion. So what I used to do, that I would consult simultaneously 4 or 5 different sources, then would thoroughly read them, and I would not write in everything whatever is there in the book, and I would write it down in there's no point of doing that. It's only wastage of time.
Again.
Exactly. So I would never do that. Only after reading all the sources, whatever important and relevant, any sentence or any information I would find in those in the source of my material. So I would actually replicate that in my notebook, which is something I could later on recall very easily. No need for replicating the book or recreating the book. I think that is not to be done. Just whatever is important and something that you cannot actually you can forget over a period of time, that is to be written down separately in your notebook, so that subsequently you can go through that and you can actually read that and remember that.
Okay. And then we have, this is our last question for today. So we have it from Ananya. How much time in years is required for cracking? How should one plan for the same?
As far as planning part is concerned, I think the earlier you start, the better. There's no doubt in that. But I think usually I have seen that, considering the scale of the syllabus for this examination, it usually takes 1 year. For some people, it takes 1 year and few more months to prepare for this examination. I'm talking of the people who did it and actually cleared this examination. So 1 year is an adequate time. But for example, if you are pursuing your graduation and you start preparing for this examination while you are in second year only, and by the time you complete your final year and you immediately write the examination, even then you can qualify this examination. It doesn't mean that you didn't invest separately for this examination, but for the past 2 years while you were doing graduation, you are actually preparing for this examination as well. So that way, it's an examination which needs a definite amount of time, and that varies from a person to person, because our efficiency is not same. Because there are people among us who are working, who cannot actually spend like 10 hours, 12 hours per day for this examination. So there are many factors, but normally on average it would take 2 years, I can say, for a person to prepare for this examination. In some cases it takes a year, and in some other cases it takes 3 years, 4 years, but usually in 2 years you do that.
Okay, so that was the end of our question, sir. We thoroughly thank you from the bottom of our heart to agree to become a part of our show today. I would like to tell our audiences that sir is extremely busy right now, more so because we are in the middle of a pandemic and police has a major role to play in it. He's an extremely busy person, but he's still agreed to grace us with his time, and we are grateful to him. Also, sir, your insights were really beautiful. I have had the opportunity to take guidance from you earlier as well, and today also I got some new things, and they've been really helpful in my preparation. And I believe everyone who has been watching our channel today learn something new, and they apply it in their preparation, and it helps them in cracking the examination. I wish them all the best. And thank you so much for appearing in our show today, sir. And just a final few words of encouragement for Ecoholics.
I think actually I want to express sincere gratitude to you people that you gave me an opportunity to connect with the students again. And this is something that I cherish always. I love to interact with the people. So that has been done, and I'm very thankful for that. And as far as Ecoholics is concerned, it has emerged one of the important platforms of economics in the country. It is doing well. I have been observing it on the social media, and you have been roping in personalities, renowned personalities actually, who are such big names from different parts of the world actually, and you are making their access easy and kind of available to the public of the India. So that way, it's a wonderful job you guys are doing, and everybody is going to be grateful for this, whatever you are doing. And personally, I would like to congratulate you for that initiative, and I wish you all the best for that. And we all stand with you in that initiative. And again, I would want to say thank you so much for inviting me over and giving me an opportunity to talk and interact with the aspirants out here.
The pleasure was all ours, sir. We are seriously very grateful to have you here. You gave us your time, your precious time. Currently, I cannot thank you enough for that. I mean, I see the policemen outside my house. So I live in a pretty crowded area, and I see the policemen outside my house. And especially when the lockdown was at their peak, they used to have loudspeakers in their hands, and they used to be shouting at all times that please maintain social distancing, please don't step out of your house if it's not urgent, if it's not important, please don't step out of your house. This is how we can beat coronavirus. And it was peak in the afternoon time, and it was so hot, and they were standing outside. So what police is doing right now is just a commendable job, and without them, this pandemic would have been a bigger nightmare than it is right now. We are very grateful for you to be with us today, even in the midst of your such a busy schedule. And thank you so much for being with us here today, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. So we hope to see you again, and we hope you can interact with our students sometime later when all of this is behind us, and we can look at it from a different perspective then. Till then, I would like to wish all the aspirants who have been watching us today all the best for the examination. Though it has been postponed, but it will happen. So all the best. We've got more time to prepare. And thank you so much, sir, for being with us here tonight.
Thank you so much. And from my side also, best wishes to the aspirants. All the best.
So good night, sir. Good night, everyone. And thank you for watching.